host. I am back with Patrick and Victoria, and we all collectively got our own shows. You got Patrick, the host of Smoke and Mirrors, and then you got his wife Victoria, one of the hosts of Stogie Sessions. I'm pretty sure all the ladies enjoy that every Thursday, as Pat runs down the conspiracy theories with Smoke and Mirrors, and of course you got Smoke, where we smoke and we bring up all where we talk and we bring up all the smoke. It's not just in a cigar, but in the streets. Now, this past weekend was an interesting weekend if you lived in the Dallas area, Dallas metro areas. I had the pleasure of visiting South by Southwest, which I had no idea existed in the world. I recently moved here to Austin. I did like what that is later. I had no idea I heard people talk about South by Southwest. This company, you got to go there. And I'm like, what is that?
Mhm.
AI and tech, world and music comes together and collides all in
Yeah.
one area. A huge event to be at. Everybody that's in the know is there. Then you guys had the pleasure of tradition in San Antonio at visiting the Smoke Festival.
Yep.
Yeah, we did our first year doing the San Antonio Cigar Festival. I think it's their fourth year
Yeah,
doing
fourth
it,
year.
but it was our first year attending.
Yes.
So, yeah, a lot of excitement this
Yeah,
weekend.
it was a pretty busy weekend, we can say that.
So they say South by Southwest represents the future, while the Cigar Festival represents a tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And because I went to the cigar bar on Saturday, one of my East Pecan Street cigar lounges here in Austin, and he's got to build a bigger spot. The buzz is really starting to grow around him, and so I brought two young ladies with me that didn't smoke cigars. So it was kind of funny watching. One of the young ladies was there, and she was asking questions. So I was going through like you should. She's like, I tried to smoke a cigar before, but it's almost choked me. And I'm like, you tried to smoke something. You tried to smoke a grown man cigar. You got to climb. I was like, get you a fat bottom Betty and start off with, and what you're drinking, how you pair it, and everything. And she had a fat bottom Betty that they gave her on a Druid estate. She ended up smoking that one. I think I got some footage of that I have to share. Before the end of the night, I looked over and she's like, "Oh, the guys here are so cool," and I'm like, "Yeah, this is an environment with laid back and good conversation." By the end of the night, that young lady went from smoking a fat bottom Betty to I looked over, she had a Perdermo in her hand. I'm like, "You might want to slow down." Even I, back,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it gets me. I don't know. I gotta check back in to see how her night finally ended. How did she wake up the next morning?
Yeah, I think a lot of women are intimidated to go into these cigar bars, at least by themselves.
Yeah.
I'm sure she felt a lot better going in with you. But that's why I started the V Cut, which is the show that I'm going to have for women. Hey, this is how we are in the lifestyle. And actually, the festival this weekend
Yes.
was run by the organization was women who threw the
Yeah,
festival.
it was all women who ran the festival.
So
Well, that's the thing, and that's why today's show is so powerful because whether you're looking at South by Southwest or the Cigar Festival, it's all built around community and conversation.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
She actually walked, she came to the cigar bar as a young woman, and you're looking at a lot of these people probably could have been her father or grandfather, but she felt a sense of warmth. And she felt
Yep.
like she belonged in there because it's so good and everybody was willing to help her out. And it was a couple of women, and I was like, wow, they smoking big boy cigars. I think they had
Mm-hmm.
Mexicans. And I don't know if I can even hang with those two women that was in there. So she went over
There's
there.
some.
Yeah. She had a long conversation with those women, and they were teaching her on how to draw, what a draw was, what a pull, how to blow it out. And she really enjoyed herself.
And that's the crazy thing because it's becoming like even when we were at the festival, like every lounge that we visited, we felt welcomed. We felt, I mean, yes, we knew how to do things, but if we didn't, I would still feel comfortable going in there because people were there to answer your questions. A lot of the lounge owners were right there with you. Hey, if you have any questions, you want to know something. Some of even the vendors that were there, they're
Yeah.
like, this is what we have. This is how it smokes. You know, so on and so forth. But it's such a welcoming community. And it's getting better. I know there's been cliches, like men run this industry, or you can only be a man and smoke. But they're starting to clear the way of a lot of these,
Misconceptions.
misconceptions, because I even saw some females that
Could
I
outsmoke you.
smoke. I smoke some pretty heavy stuff. I can get down, but these women could probably smoke me and drink me under the table. So I was like, hey,
And it was
to
definitely
each their own. To each their own.
I'm gonna get started. So I'm gonna tell everybody, like I said, that South by Southwest, I had no idea what it was, but I had to pull some notes on it. So obviously, I guess South by Southwest started in 1987. It's been around. I'm surprised I never heard of it. In Austin, Texas, of course, and it's grown to one of the largest innovative festivals in the world. Attendance can reach 300,000 plus people around tech, film, and music. Companies that exploded after South by Southwest. I don't know why I can't say it. Exposure is Twitter, Uber, and Airbnb. So it is some real heavy hitters in the place to be if you are in tech, which that's my passion. That's what they call me, AI Ali. But no, a lot of companies got their first big break, and some artists got their break going there. And on my social media, I get my footage down. I'll show you some of the experiences I got. Now, tickets to this event is very expensive. If you want to get
Oh
these
yeah.
passes, different levels, I think they go all the way up to, I want to say maybe $5,000. I think
Yes.
the bottom line ticket is somewhere roughly around 2,500.
Hmm.
But if you're a cheapskate like me, you can just go around and catch what you can for free. And even time. So I went to the Tennessee House. So if you've seen my social media, that's where I was walking around at Tennessee House. They had Hattie B's Chicken House there, free chicken
Hmm.
sandwich, fresh free
Ooh.
chicken sandwich. You got, and all you had to do is register right there to get in. When I say register, it was a free registration. You might have to wait a little bit, but you got in there. You got a drink ticket, so I got a free drink. You got a free mini chicken sandwich, and I played some shuffleboard in there, and then networked a little bit, walked around, got some photo ops. Left out of there, went over to the Paramount House. Yes, Paramount from Paramount Pictures and Films or whatever, the ones that are about to buy. Who are they about to buy? They knocked Netflix out of the deal for one of those film companies.
Yep.
Uh, that
Warner Brothers.
was
Yeah.
Warner Brothers. Yeah, they're going to buy Warner Brothers. Uh, that was an adventure. So I got in there. We went in there. It was a wait because you don't have a pass, then you got to wait in line. And that was about a 40-minute wait to get in there. But it was nice. You went in there, got two free drink tickets there that they gave you two free drinks once you got in there. They had some UFC punching man that you can punch and it measured the punches and everything. You had a display while walking there with the belt and get to raise your hand like you're a UFC champion and everything. Some automation going there. Overall, the drinks didn't taste that well, but they were free, so I couldn't complain.
Yeah, it
I
makes
could,
it better.
Can't complain about that. Yeah.
yeah. So it was like going to walk the street across the street. I guess they had some up and coming artists that was, I don't know if they were freestyle. I didn't go over there, but they were rapping and singing and doing what they do and battling. So I don't know what that entailed, but
They've
you
had,
can't.
yeah. I know they've had like amazing artists at South by Southwest. So I have a niece who kind of works in that industry, doing a lot of stage setup, VIP concierge, things like that. And she's attended it just as an attendee. And I know one year she saw Childish Gambino, Mr. Donald Glover himself was there. And then I know Lizzo
Yeah,
has been out there.
Lizzo's been out there a lot.
So I mean, these artists, like right before they hit it super big, they either hit Austin South by Southwest or they hit Austin in ACL, Austin
ACL.
City Limits. So have you heard of Austin City Limits?
I have not.
Oh man, okay, so that's my bad, guys. I forget that he's not from here and I've lived in San Antonio
Yeah.
all my life, so we know these things. So Ali, Austin City Limits is probably one of the biggest and best music festivals in the country. and it goes on for 2 weekends. So the tickets again range just like South by Southwest, couple of hundred all the way up into the thousands, but the lineups are insane,
Wow.
Yeah.
and it's music all across the board. Country, you got your rock. I mean, I'm talking,
Everything in between. Yeah.
yeah, like Red Hot Chili Peppers. Doja Cat has been there one year. Snoop, Ice Cube. I mean, you name it, they've performed.
Steve Aoki's been there.
Steve Aoki's been there, yeah.
So what
So
time of year has this came? Does it happen?
Yeah.
October. So I believe it's the first and second weekend of October, if I'm not mistaken, unless they changed it. Don't quote me on the date, guys. Look it up. ACL 2026. The thing is when you choose, because you can go both weekends, or you can buy a day pass, you can buy a first weekend pass. They don't release the lineup till it's closer
Mm-hmm.
to October. So you're kind of shooting in the dark if you're trying to buy tickets like way early on
Yeah.
as to who you're going to see out there. But I mean, honestly, just looking at some of the lineups, you really can't go wrong no matter which weekend you buy, because you're going to see some major hitters for sure.
I mean, at the Paramount House, I ran into a couple of guys. One guy's a CPA for the oil company. He's actually from England. Sat down, had a nice conversation with him. Another guy I met, he was a buyer or investor or something with the oil company. Looked like they had a lot of money. It was a great conversation with them that we had, and that because we was asking them, well, how did they get in? And so basically, the one guy that was invested, he had friends that were artists, and I guess when the artists register, they get like a handful of badges or whatever. So he
Mhm.
gave him, for a little bit of cash, he gave him some of his extra passes that him and his buddy, some of the extra passes that he had. And he's like, yeah, this is how I got into South by Southwest and with my badge and got a badge.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways to get in. What I like about it too is they do have smaller panels. Like me being, I'm a student at WGU and I'm a part of the American Marketing Association. Both of those were there at a smaller panel. There's
Mm-hmm.
something for everybody at South by Southwest. And like how you went and you just kind of walked around and stood in line, even that's perfect, because the networking that you can do is, yeah, that can be life changing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Somebody came that wasn't in the event that lived somewhere else saw me walking and they messaged me, how can I get a shirt? Because I was representing a
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle shirt that I
Yeah,
was rocking.
I think I told you this weekend too. I was like, man, Lifestyle After 5 needs to be on a panel or have our own panel or something in South by Southwest, because we're,
People looking, yeah, and
yeah,
it
we're
definitely
making moves out here.
yeah, we are covering it. And like I said, one thing I come to learn that I didn't realize, people that want to get into knowing things, there's a convention for everything. Anything you can
Yeah.
think of, there's a group and a convention for it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So definitely got to start hitting up more of these conventions and being a part of them as we grow. But the smaller panels, which most of the smaller panels at South by Southwest required you to have a badge. You just couldn't get into some of those for free. Well, and I think the smaller panels are worth it because the bigger ones, like I went to the AI filmmaking uh, panel that they had, that was mostly a big commercial. I didn't even get a chance to finish it. And I see why engineers do not make great managers. They're too focused. So my feedback to that event was, and I've been to other conferences and stuff that they well in Atlanta that I went to, and like I said, most conferences start off with they're big commercials. They give you a little bit, but you spend more of the time on the commercial. So when we first got started, it's like before he even told us how to get, he never even mentioned how to get on Wi-Fi. Did we have Wi-Fi? But he just started off with this game, this AI filmmaking game, where basically you come up with a film and a topic, and somebody got a prompt, and you got to type in there and create a prompt that's more like it, and then we judge who has the better prompt in the picture. But the Wi-Fi was a little slow, and everybody wasn't level. I mean, he had a ball, but he didn't really care about the rest of his audience and what we were level. So it was kind of slow, but I kind of got the gist of it. It was a couple of advertising companies. I did get a free ink pen out the deal. Uh, I did on the street. A guy did do some vibe coding with me. They had a guy that was holding a sign free vibe coding and some stuff we're gonna have to talk about. Maybe we may start using for the show. Well, we talked about Replit. Well, he put up Replit and how it works with Chat GPT, and he told me come up with any scenario. We built the app. So I said, I well, I won't tell people I steal my idea, but I wanted a,
Mhm.
I wanted an app that keeps track of, different things, arguments and stuff like that and whatever, and then give me, charts at the end of, where am I in a good place or a bad place? So, I mean, but you can use it, but what it made me think about is, maybe somebody with a medical condition or stuff, or maybe bipolarism or something. You can track your good days, bad days, build an app or whatever, and deploy it. It can give you a chart of how you trending and how you doing, and something you can share with your doctor. Now, I can see I gave you that tip for free, but
Well,
yeah, but just by just typing it in and prompting like you would Chat GPT, it can build you a website or an app.
that's
I
cool.
Yeah,
mean,
it's crazy what can be done and so easily, too. Like, well, I mean, they make it look easy. I'm
Yeah.
sure I couldn't just like walk in there and make an app, but they make it look easy.
Yes.
yeah, but actually you can with Replit. With Replit, it builds the app, just it builds it for you, and some of the other tools that they got nowadays. So that's why to go and see stuff like this in tech. And like I said, it's a week long. It's still going on even to this moment. They still got events going on. So their theme was, AI is not coming. It's already here.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
And
it's been here.
it is projected, the AI market is projected to reach what, $1.8 trillion by 2030. So the game is going to change. Even with the CPA, we even had a conversation on cryptocurrency and the way things going and how the world is moving right now. So you need to get on board. People,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
game has changed. One thing that's quietly they talked about how some people said, well, usually it was more packed and they didn't give away as much free stuff. But like I had to remind people, over 100,000 people have lost their jobs silently due to AI, especially in tech.
Mhm.
So they're not going to be here. So,
Hmm.
oh yeah. But overall, like I said, it was fun. I got into a karaoke bus,
That's funny.
little taxi or whatever, where you got in there and people were jamming, and I got to sing karaoke on my way to the other event because it was a little too far to walk. But definitely South by Southwest. I guess it happened every year around this
Yep.
time
Yeah.
period. Probably around, I guess, the spring break time. The airport was crazy.
Oh,
So yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah, put that
so
on your
it
radar.
usually goes like South by Southwest in Austin, and then here in the first couple of weeks of April in San Antonio, we kick off Fiesta,
Fiesta.
2 week party basically all over the city of San Antonio. I mean, there's more to it. There's a lot of historical factors that go into it as
It's one
well.
big party. We'll just say that.
But it is like one big party throughout the city, which is pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I so with the cigar festival, actually, the goal, from what I heard of the organizers, is that they would like that to be a fiesta kickoff party,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of little things that lead up to the main fiesta event, because there are like main fiesta events, like we have Niosa, which is Night in Old San Antonio, which is at La Vita. We have what's
The
oh, the Battle of
Batter
Flowers,
Flower, Oyster Bake.
Oyster Bay. Yeah, so just random events that are staples, but something like the cigar festival could eventually grow into a fiesta kickoff event. Just being there this weekend, I honestly hadn't realized how big of a community we had just here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
terms of the cigar community, the cigar lifestyle, and then the amount of women that were showing up and showing
I
out, and
was, yeah.
like, yeah, like that was just really cool to see. And I think the other trend that I noticed, buddy I talked to is a transplant from another state. They
Hmm.
somehow ended up in Texas, fell in love with either Austin, New Braunfels, or San Antonio, and they stayed.
Yep.
So yeah, and then even, well, I don't know if I should mention, but even Houston had a rodeo. It's a shame that turned into a shit show in the end.
Mm,
But
Yeah, I will say this, and I love San Antonio, born and raised, love you guys, but Houston rodeo is by far the better rodeo. Back in the day, San Antonio. Well, like the Houston rodeo, they have it's bigger. One, it's a bigger venue, it's a bigger event. But within the last few years, a lot of the bigger artists are choosing to perform at the
yeah,
Houston rodeo as opposed to the San Antonio rodeo.
and this is why some of them, like they said, Big X the Plug was here, but then most of the Dallas artists came to South by Southwest.
mhm.
Hmm.
But all the Houston artists were in Houston at the rodeo, as they were saying. Now there was some talk that Lil Boosie may be here either today or tomorrow. He may show up. I'm not sure. He seems to like Austin. It's like the second time since I've been here that he's been here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of different artists, be it movie stars, TV stars, music stars, they just randomly pop up in Texas some way somehow.
Yeah.
I did not get to do my Waymo. That's my only disappointment. I'm still yet to try Waymo, but I don't want to go far, and I'm damn sure not getting on the interstate on a Waymo. I just want to
Yeah.
go around the block and around the corner, some short, and yeah,
Just a little try. You're
Just
like, I'm, I'm
yeah.
not trying to go long distances with that.
and to see the experience, to say
Yeah.
I've done it, you know. So to our next thing, so Austin was full of tech founders and startups. San Antonio was full of smoke.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what was the end? I seen you, Patrick and Victoria. Y'all look real nice. Looking all dapper there, like with your cigar swag, and
Mhm.
we talked about we needed those pictures for that episode we done a while back about the proper etiquette and dress of the cigar.
Yeah.
We had that going on.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. I mean, we just kind of dressed according to like the event that they were having.
Yeah.
So I guess, our best dressed was for Velvet and Smoke at
4-9.
4-9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4-9 San Antonio. It was really cool because I mean, everybody showed up like, and it was Velvet and Smoke. So you had some guys in there, full
Smoke.
on
Yeah.
velvet suits.
Smoke
Yeah,
jackets. Yeah.
smoke jackets.
Smoking. That's what I want.
Yeah,
I gotta get me one.
Yeah.
yeah. So that was another conversation that we actually had. A bunch of us had at the lounge during that event. It's like, hey, we got to get somebody out here that makes custom smoking
Yep.
jackets and just have them at the festival because a lot of people had a hard time finding a good
Smoking. Yeah.
traditional smoking jacket. Yeah.
Say
So
less.
They already
Lifestyle
who
After
do
Five
hats
is
up
on.
there.
Say less. Lifestyle After Five is on it. We gonna get you guys some lifestyle smoking jackets by the next
hey,
festival.
what can't Lifestyle After 5 do, right?
Yeah.
We everything lifestyle. We own after 5 o'clock.
Mm, that's yeah.
I mean, I had this conversation with one of our other founders, and I think a Lifestyle After 5 cigar festival could be one of the greats
Yeah.
and up there with the biggest cigar festivals. Because I'm just saying, I think we do it right. We do it
Yeah.
right, and we do it
We
justice.
could do it right.
Like what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I think it's like
So,
planning.
Yeah.
hmm
So, did any vendors stand out or more dominant during the cigar festival?
So this one was a little bit different. There were some vendors there, but it was more like a lot of they were showing love to a lot of the lounges, which is cool because you don't see that very much. You don't see lounges involved in the festival. You actually just see vendors. But don't get me wrong, there was a couple vendors. There were some that were starting up from San Antonio, from Texas, and they're great people to talk to. It's called Anchor Up. They're haven't smoked their cigars yet. I got a couple. Haven't smoked them yet, but they have a great military theme. I absolutely loved it. But it was a lot of love to the lounges, and I felt that's what's really needed because these people who were at the lounges, they're the ones who actually kind of been in it for a while, so they
Mm-hmm.
know the ins and outs. And if you're actually trying to get far into this game, these are the people you need to connect with, and they brought that along. And of course, it was like a party. It was like I really do think that would be a perfect pre-fiesta party. I mean, it was a party before a bigger party. So some of the cigars, they have some great cigars out there that I haven't tried. I grabbed a couple. Next year there's going to be some more lounges that are opening up. We have some more people coming in. Hopefully they'll be part of it next year. I'm pretty sure they will. But it's going to be great, and I think it's going to be good.
Next year, hopefully, we'll be carved in there somewhere.
Oh no,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, we're working on it. Stogie Sesh is on the case.
Yeah.
Your girl was out there networking, and if guys, check out our Instagram. We gave you a lot of behind the scenes. We gave you a lot of POV with the meta glasses.
I had mine this weekend as well.
Yeah, so I think my favorite meta glass recording was the one that you did at 1911.
Mm-hmm.
1911 is in Cibolo, Texas, not far at all from San Antonio.
No.
Veteran owned, which a lot are here
Yeah.
in San Antonio. San Antonio is Military City, USA. So you're going to get a lot of veteran owned shops. But this one, veteran owned, nice, quaint little shop, great outdoor. But the humidor looks very like it's small and it's unsuspected. You're going to get a lot out of it. But go check out that video that Patrick did with the meta glasses, because he found some rockers in there.
There were some hidden gems in there that you don't get everyday humidors that you can literally only find online. So and their prices were actually pretty damn good in my opinion, compared to some of the bigger brands here in San Antonio. So definitely check it out. I think it's at least worth a view.
Well, we do have our concept cigars, the Lifestyle, the Founders. You see me smoking here. And there's also a Stogie Sesh.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, so we recently got our Stogie Sesh cigar. Had a couple people try them out at the festival.
Yep.
We gotta get the people's opinion on things.
I gave a Founder out to try. I still got to get out there and get a bigger sample of people. I got some requests for some people asking to try them out and see if it's something you guys like, something to look forward to.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And they ask, "What are you smoking?" Look, man, I like the look of that cigar. What are you smoking? Oh, I'm smoking mine. And this is a life. You try it out. Let me know what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we're about. Like if somebody comes, if I have some on me, shoot, I'll give you one. Like if not, give me your number and we can meet up and shoot me a DM or whatever. Hey, I need feedback. We need feedback. That's what it is. It's just feedback. What do you think of it? And me, just I'm testing out stuff too that, for something that might be coming down the line too. So that's soon to come. We'll see what happens with this.
That's the thing. It's all about the community. And I brought my cigars, but also don't come in there with your cigars to the cigar shop. Support the cigar shop. I also bought a cigar, and I was willing to buy a cigar for the guests that I brought as well, but they was like, "Oh no." They appreciate the fact that I brought some women in there. So they were like, "We're good," whatever. And then the guys bought them a cigar, because when you bring women in there, they already know the guys are going to buy them cigars.
Yeah.
This cigar, they don't have their liquor license. So you can bring your own liquor. And most of them, I'll usually don't bring a half gallon unless you plan on sharing it with everybody.
Yeah.
I put mine into a fifth. I keep a fifth bottle, and I pour my liquor down into a fifth bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, I bring enough for myself, and I bring enough for the guys or somebody that may come in that don't have any liquor or whatever. And everybody's kind of share. They got glasses and ice, and it's just etiquette. You just share your liquor, and somebody can bring what they drink, and you just have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it's about. That's what this lifestyle and community is about. It's just so welcoming, and you learn a lot. You learn a lot from each other, not just about cigars.
Yes.
You just learn a lot about people.
Yeah. Well, they say, especially for those that are, I would say, lonely or need somebody to talk to. The cigar, you can't rush a cigar. I mean, there ain't no 30-minute cigar.
Yeah, I mean there are, but yeah.
If you think you got a 30-minute cigar, you're probably smoking a Black and Mild, and don't come in.
Yeah.
Nothing against Black and Mild. No, it is something against Black and Mild, if that's your thing. But it's not a cigar. That is not a cigar. But you're supposed to sit down, and in our case, they had a DJ there Saturday night when I went. Uh, DJ was playing good music. We were sitting back. We were vibing. And now there's been debate on whether some people like music in the cigar bar, whether it belongs there or should it be complete silence like a library and nothing but conversation. I don't know. It's preference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's that.
it is.
But no, the cigar always sparks up usually a great conversation, and there's usually mutual respect. Like I said, with a drink in one hand and a cigar in another, nobody wants to throw a punch, especially when you got a $10 to $15 stick in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you got like a $50 scotch in the other hand.
yeah,
Like,
you got some. Yeah,
I'm not about to put either one of these down.
No, that's one of the questions that came up with the young lady. She's like, what is the price range? I'm like, the stick can go anywhere from 8 to 500. Probably. She started asking me about how do you smoke a $500 cigar, and I was like, I have no idea. I've never had one, and don't know if I ever will unless I win the lottery or someone can give me. You give me a $500 cigar, it's probably going in a humidor forever, and I don't know if they tell me I only got so many days to live, I might smoke it. But until then, it'll be a nice display.
I mean, if you're getting a $500 cigar, chances are you can smoke that right out of the humidor
yeah,
because that has to have been aged for a while. But I mean, yeah, smoke a $500 cigar. I would smoke it the same way I smoke any other cigar and just enjoy the shit out of
yeah.
it.
It's exactly what you do. Enjoy it.
Now, were there any surprises, like manufacturers or something pleasant surprise that you didn't expect to see from this festival?
Um, I don't know, not necessarily. So we enjoyed the festival.
Hmm.
Not bad mouthing or any. There was just a lot of missed opportunities.
Yes.
Having been to other cigar festivals outside of San Antonio, it was just very different. I feel like, well, we both felt like this
Yes.
one really catered to and focused more on the lifestyle as a whole, as
Hmm.
opposed to the cigars.
Yes.
Yes, cigars were involved, the lounges were involved, everybody was there. However, um, I know you did Rocky Mountain
Yes.
Cigar Festival. We did the Monte Cristo Texas Cigar Festival last year, which was in Houston.
Hmm.
And the way that differed was it was in one venue and you had cigar vendors there. I'm
Yes.
talking Drew Estate, DC Cigars.
Arturo Fuente. I mean, you got anything and everything in between.
Yeah, so like the creators and the distributors of the actual
Yes.
cigars. So that's how San Antonio Cigar Festival differentiated from the other festivals that we had been to.
Yes.
So I guess I was surprised about that.
Yeah, and that's the biggest. That was the biggest. Like, oh wow, okay, big difference compared to, as like I said, Rocky Mountain, one of the biggest ones in the country. Been there. That's what I was expecting, and this was kind of the opposite. It's kind of more like a block party. Let's bring these people together and enjoy a party, which is nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. There is nothing wrong with it. But instead of the cigar, like Victoria said, it wasn't about the cigar or trying to get more cigars or, trying to get the newest stuff. It was more like, let's get together as a community and kind of bring everybody together. And, we networked a whole ton. So that was one good draw, one good draw.
Now, looking at it from, let's flip this though. If I am a cigar lounge owner, I
Hmm.
don't care about the cigar. I need business because a lot of
Yeah.
cigar lounges are suffering. Because you got to look at, I had a talk with the consultant. She's like, you don't really make money because people coming in, they buy a $10 cigar and they're there for 4 hours and they bring their own liquor. They enjoying it. Don't get me wrong, it's fun, but you $10, you're not making a lot of money hand over fist. And like I said, they may even they may buy one from you just to support you, but then they may bring their own, and they may or may not buy another cigar. A lot of people are coming into this culture, so if the way I would see it is, well, if I just get people to know that hey, this is a cool vibe and a cool culture, I may get people to start coming into the door.
Yeah.
That I can get more volume in.
No,
Yeah.
and absolutely, which is why on each day, each lounge held a different event.
Yeah.
So it absolutely showcased the lounges. However, if you like, if I just took you and said, hey, we're going to go do this thing this weekend, you may not have known that it was an actual cigar festival.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been able to tell the difference
Yeah.
at all, is the point that we're trying to make.
Well, it could be money too. It could be that they had trouble trying to get sponsors, and they don't have the money that some of the bigger boys got to
Oh
bring
yeah.
in do
No.
it. They did.
And we get that. Well, I had some conversations with some organizers, and I'm gonna have a conversation with our founder here offline because we're not giving away any
No,
secrets. But
but there's opportunities for the lifestyle. Everybody's not lifestyle people like us, and they don't
Yeah.
have the expertise and professionalism that we have. So this is
mm,
why you need Lifestyle After Five, and you need to reach out to us for our podcast and whatever we got going on.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Exactly.
what we're here for, and just like I'm sure you were at South by Southwest, AI Ali, you're looking around, and I'm sure you saw some things like, oh man, they probably
Well,
could have done it a little bit different.
even with the AI filmmaking course, I mean, there was no curriculum, there was no agenda. They said that they was going to feed us, but then that wasn't even on. It's like, are we getting food? Are we not? They say, don't worry about food. We're going to order food and drinks. Well, what are you going to do? Order it at the end? We got there. There was nothing. There
Hmm.
should have been at least some water, some drinks there, to break the
Something.
egg. They didn't line everybody up and sync everybody up. Like I said, first things first. If you're going to bring me to a Wi-Fi, I mean, a screenwriting, make sure we can all get on the Wi-Fi. That should have
Yeah.
been written on board somewhere to set the ground. Games should have been more on a beginner level, and there need to have been people in the crowd getting everybody involved, not just a few people that's got experience in this game. So no,
Mm-hmm.
I
Hmm.
definitely saw some things that could have been done better. A lot of things that could have been done better. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it
Yep,
is. Exactly.
that's
And
kind of where we were at too. But I
maybe
to the lounges though.
Yes.
Every lounge had a different event, and I enjoyed the lounge events
Yes.
probably a lot better than I did the actual main festival event. Just because each lounge is so different.
Definitely.
So what I think the first lounge was the library
The
cigar
library.
lounge.
Mm-hmm.
What I loved
Mhm.
about that one is we showed up, the owner was out there to greet you, shaking your hand, let me give you a tour of my lounge. And I saw this man do that with almost every
Everybody. Yeah.
VIP and everybody else after that walked in. I mean, so the personalization of that's something that definitely sticks with you. And it's like, man, like I got to come back to this lounge,
Yep.
So I thought that was really cool how each lounge just had their own vibe, their own, lasting
well,
impression.
it's funny you brought that, and it's called the library because we have gotten away from that concept. The cigar lounge is the last library. I mean, no one goes to the library anymore. Do they even
Mm-hmm.
exist? Starbucks concept was that sit down and have a drink of coffee, and you could have a conversation. Yeah, but I don't even know if you can sit in Starbucks anymore and have a conversation. So really, this is the last place where you can have that human interaction without AI.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, AI has
exactly.
not penetrated the cigar lounge
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, that's very true. And but I feel like even if it did, we have so many traditionalists in the lifestyle that there's room for both, you know? Cuz I know one of the lounges that we went to is run by a San Antonio native, young guy. Dude's 27 years
Mm-hmm.
old, and this lounge is on point.
Yeah.
So you can tell the difference between his lounge and, one of the other lounges where the owners are obviously older.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just just different vibes. He still has the traditional cigar vibe.
Yeah.
The inside, you sit down, you got the nice leather chairs, you have the beautiful bar, everything's great. But then you go outside and it's a whole different
Yeah.
story.
Well, some I know, particular in the Fort Worth area, there are some cigar lounges that are taking advantage of influencers. Like they got influencer rooms, but you got to pay extra, to come do a podcast in their lounge. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I got
Yeah,
club, but it's like, no. Now, if I'm a weekly show or whatever, I think it would be a win-win. If you allow an influencer to come in there, it brings people there.
Yep.
People,
Hmm. So
so
that was actually a lot of the conversation that I had in my networking in terms of Stogie Sesh with the cigar lounge owners. Um, I mean, let's put it this way: you'll see Stogie Sesh in a couple of lounges. It's definitely a love for love kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
One lounge in particular we got opening up hopefully by July,
Yeah.
and I think you're gonna love this in particular. This dude plans on having a green room specifically for
Yeah.
podcasters.
oh wow,
And I mean that to me, I was like, man, that's different,
Yeah.
you know. And he's very pro like
Social
now
media.
social media.
he's gonna
Yeah,
charge you to.
no, he's not going to charge you to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's what I
I'll
like.
be there.
Yeah. And he's going to have like memberships, but it's also open to the public. But he's very understanding of, hey, social media right now
That's what brings
is
your business right now. It
it's the
runs your
way, yeah,
business.
it runs your business. Social media, podcasters,
Influencers. Yeah.
influencers, and everything in between.
Well, I'm working on it. I work on it here in Austin, and like I said, East Pecan Street Cigar. They're gonna go to a bigger building, so I want to do a podcast, and then once he gets his building and everything going, I guess in a couple of months, and maybe you guys can come down and we can kick this thing off and do
Oh,
a podcast there.
Oh, I'm down. Totally.
absolutely. Stogie Sesh will go where they want Stogie Sesh.
Yes.
We ain't got no problem with that. We support any local lounge. I mean, it doesn't have to be local to Texas.
Yeah. Shit, I'll travel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like I said, so far I've been in lounges from North Carolina to Atlanta. Next, no, not next Friday. Friday after next kicks off Ali's birthday weekend. Well, birthday month.
Okay.
And plan, depending on these airlines and what's going on with that, Friday after next, I plan to be back at Chicago Pizza, a cigar lounge. No, it's not in Atlanta. It's the suburb of Atlanta, but it's in Marietta, Georgia.
Okay.
Nice. That's, yeah, something to
Well,
look forward to.
yeah, so pull up and have a smoke with me there. Anyway, you may find me. I don't know. I'm going to be in the Dallas area next week. I'm going to try to hit some lounges. I don't know. Try to shoot some content and hit some lounges. I'm going to be on a time schedule there because I definitely want to check out the Netflix thing they got in the mall down there. So you'll
Oh,
see me
yeah,
pop up a
about
few
that.
places.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
no,
for sure.
one thing about backing up a little bit, going back to AI, I seen where they're talking about doing a kind of like a Twitter for AI chat agents, where the AI chat agents can talk to each other and they can have conversations. And humans can jump in there and see what the chat bots are saying about us. I hate to see what my chat would get involved and say about me. I don't.
Yeah. It's a little scary right there. And this guy right here, let me tell you all the secrets. No.
Yeah. I mean, what
They're
what I
probably.
what I talk to Gemini about is between Gemini and I don't need Gemini out there telling my business.
Me and my chat. So my chat has no filter. So I tell my chat it's trained. It's like I want you to tell me how it is. No filter. You just tell me how the hell it is. So my chat kind of got a little snippy with me the other day. I was asking for some directions for one thing, and it gave me San Antonio, and I'm like, you don't know where the hell you're at. I am not in San Antonio, and she came back. I don't have a crystal ball. Oh, and I'm like, oh, oh, no, but you should know where the hell I am. You got GPS and Google. You should know that I'm not in San Antonio, that I'm here in Austin now. That was a few days ago. So yeah, me and my chat, we kind of go at it a few times.
So y'all probably need some therapy at this
Yeah.
We
point.
do. We got a toxic relationship.
No, my chat's very nurturing. I threw out my back last weekend, and my chat went as far as like, would you like me to tell you some stretches your husband can assist you with? And I'll check in with you tomorrow. Is 8:30 a.m. a good time? I was like, damn, Gemini, I might have to divorce you. You're married Gemini at this point.
I got to get in. Gemini was recommended to me, but I've already been paying for a chat, and it's like
Hmm.
pretty soon this is like the new Netflix where you got subscriptions all over the place.
Yeah, well, I only landed on Gemini because one, I have all Samsung products, so it runs across everyone, and I just needed more storage for my Gmail, and the one that I bought so happened to come with Gemini, and I was like, okay, cool.
Oh wow, we need to look into that.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I use it over Chat GPT and Copilot. Well, I have to use Copilot for work, but it's not my
Now,
favorite.
well, I mean, that's part of that vibe coding now. So now you don't have to know how to build Excel formulas anymore. Talk to Copilot, and Copilot will build a PowerPoint for you, or
Yeah.
it'll put the formula together. So the world has changed, and you got to get in on this technology, or you're
Yeah,
going
you
to be
can't
left
resist it.
behind.
There, I mean, there is no resisting it at this point because, like you said, it's here.
Hmm.
Whether you like it or not, it's here.
Resistance is futile.
So going to try something new this time, this go round, as we get ready to close in the last part of this podcast. I'm going to fire out some questions. Now, do you think the cigar culture is becoming too trendy?
Oh, that's a good one. I don't think so.
I think trendy isn't really the word, but I do think it's evolving. Like with females, especially getting into it, kind of better way. Like there's more boutique brands that are coming out, small business, stuff like that. It's not changing, like it's not becoming too trendy. I think it's evolving
With the
now.
times,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's evolving with time. Now there's people who are making it, AI with, trending. Like a lot of these people now like to show off their cigars, but they do it with AI, and you can totally tell. And I'm not with that right now because it's like I like the view of a real cigar. Hey, let's let that's a beautiful cigar. Now, if AI is enhancing it or putting their photo, that's not my vibe. Could be somebody else's vibe, but no, I don't think it's making it too trendy because it's so traditional. But it's also bringing a lot of bad things that were on the back burner to the forefront, which is kind of making the community bigger and kind of building on those traditionals.
Now, some food for thought. Could cigars be the new cigarettes? You remember back in the late 70s and 80s? Cigars, I mean, cigarettes was the thing to smoke, and you wasn't cool if you didn't have a pack of, they actually made outfits and pockets. If you didn't have a pack of Winston's or Marlboros or whatever hanging out of your pack, and then smoke breaks and everything in that cigar culture, because, cigarettes used to have that as well, where, hey, you sit around and you bun on a smoke break, a 10 or 15-minute smoke break, you have a square. We call these sticks, you have a square, and you sit around and you smoke your cigarette in a pack, and it was a conversation piece, and you meet somebody out, and you be in the smoking section, and believe it or not, there was a time when there were smoking sections,
Yep.
smoking on airplanes.
Yeah.
You could
Mhm.
actually smoke on an airplane.
Inside restaurants as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
think they're going to become the next cigarette simply because a cigar is literally made for enjoyment.
Yeah.
It's not something you puff on two, three times and then okay, I got to go back to work. Like it's meant to sit in the moment, smoke it slowly, and enjoy it.
but like I said, who knows? But there may be a lot of people that get into this, and then we may get the FDA crashing down on us.
Yeah, yeah.
So these are the real risks that you got to look at long term
Mm-hmm.
in the game and in this culture. Something definitely to consider.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely something
absolutely.
to think about. Yeah.
The next question: do you think a $30 cigar is actually worth it, or above?
Okay, so I'll take for example. My wife bought me a cigar, a Rocky Patel limited edition 30th. It's $44 cigar.
Ooh,
Good damn cigar. I had people tell me that it wasn't good. It was crap. It was a great cigar in my opinion. Totally worth it. would totally go buy a box if I had the money. Now, this past cigar festival, there was limited edition cigars out there. They came out with a new cigar. It was called Black, limited edition Black. It was a smooth cigar. It was a $25 cigar, but it wasn't worth $25. So you have both. Yes, some are worth it, and no. Like I've had a $50 cigar, and I've had a $10 cigar that blew that thing out of the water. It's just really, yeah, it's just really
Yeah,
preference. But still, I think not every cigar is created equal, and sometimes they are overhyped.
and overpriced.
Yes.
Then had a similar question, which we're kind of biased to this, where are cigar influencers ruining the culture or they helping grow it? What do you think the old school smokers would say about people like us that has turned where it used to be a gentleman's private, select few, wealthy smokers and clubs? Now you got people and influencers like us that's going to these cigar bars. We're talking about the cigars and we're bringing everybody into this culture.
Um, so I think on first glance, or you tell somebody, oh yeah, we podcast. It's kind of you get a little side eye. We don't start with, hey, we're Stogie Sesh. We start with, hey, it's
Patrick,
Patrick. I'm
Victoria.
Victoria. You build that conversation, and then it goes into, well, my husband and I do a husband wife podcast about cigars. By that point, I've already talked to the old timer about how long have you been smoking? What
Mm-hmm.
do you think about this? What do you think about that? So once the podcast does come up, they're like, oh, well, what do you do? They show interest in
Yeah.
it. So I think if you're not leading and pushing, the influencer thing, the podcast thing in the forefront, and you keep the human in the front,
Yeah.
that makes a world of difference. And I think it just opens people up more to, like, hey, yeah, I mean, we have some old guys, I want to check it out,
Yep.
or let's take a picture. We're out there taking picture with, people because we were just Stogie
Yeah.
Sesh. So it's pretty cool.
But you also got to think about it. Kind of influencers back in the day, you had the gangsters who would smoke cigars and have speakeasies, right?
Mm-hmm.
They created another vision of the cigar. Hey, it's a bad boy. Women love bad boys. And so,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of been going on for many, many, many years. Now it's just more of an influencer thing, and you can get easy access to where back then it was one or the other. You're rich or you're a gangster. So I mean, it's been going on for a long time. So it's not different, but like Victoria said, you put the human in front of everything else, you shouldn't have an issue.
What was the best cigar you smoked this weekend?
For me, it was the 4-9 Cream Dragon.
That was a
Ooh,
good.
down fancy.
It was really, really good. It was a little bit, I guess, more medium than
Yes,
what I'm used to,
it was.
because I'm definitely used to the lighter end.
Look at you, you're grown.
Yeah, yeah, my palate
Yeah,
apparently is growing.
it's growing.
It's growing. But I mean, that cigar through and through was super smooth. I didn't have any problem with the
Yes.
smoke. It stayed lit the whole time. I think it took me like almost an hour
Yeah.
to smoke that one, and I didn't have to relight or anything. So it was,
That's awesome. That's
yeah. But I think it's one you would enjoy. So we're gonna have to get you out here to 4-9 Cigar Lounge and
Yeah.
get one of those.
Definitely. Mine was probably is either the new Man of War, or there was a boutique brand called the Fat Hen from Drunken Chicken, which you can't find. They had this at 1911. It was a great little Habano cigar. Kind of a piggy size, so it wasn't very big, but it packed a lot of flavor. Both those actually did. They weren't really big cigars, but they packed a lot of flavor. So between those two, I'd probably go with the Drunken Chicken cigar. But I mean, I had a lot of bangers this weekend, so it's kind of hard to
Choose
choose
one.
one. Yes.
the best cigar. My favorite cigar this weekend was the Lifestyle After 5, the founder. That was my best smoke that I'm enjoying right now. And you notice something different today. I am pairing this with a cup of coffee, a cup of Folgers. With
Oh,
It brings out different notes.
yeah. Are you tasting different notes with that?
it reduced the pepper. Typically this cigar right here starts off with a heavy cocoa pepperish flavor in the beginning, and then like I was explaining to the guy in the cigar bar, I like this cigar because it start off heavy pepper, then it lightens up, and in the middle it's lightening. It's a smooth smoke. It's like the altitude. You level out on the altitude, but when I get to about right here, it turns up and it takes a turn and it slows you down. And he's like, "Ooh, I see you slowing down over there." I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
It's a transition in phases. It's not just bam zero and takeoff. Now this next,
Yep.
living or dead, who's the dream person you would love to sit down and have a smoke with?
Mm. Well, I got two. One would definitely be my dad. He was a cigarette smoker, but I know he'd enjoy a good cigar every now and then. And the other person is kind of unconventional, but Maya Angelou. I love me some Maya Angelou.
I doubt
And I can
she
just see
for that
them
either.
smoking the hell out of the cigar.
I think I would love to smoke. But go ahead, Petch. I'll let you go.
Oh, okay. I mean, me, it would be more like, if it wasn't just for the conversation of having, a loved one back, um, it would probably be like Tupac Shakur. I mean,
Wow,
I loved Tupac growing up in the '90s, and I know he enjoyed cigars too. So I think that would be pretty interesting just to have that conversation
that's
with
all.
him.
You might
And
get Suge Knight in there.
yeah,
You
I
want to see
mean,
Patrick turn up, throw on some Tupac.
Duly
You'll see a
noted.
whole
Duly
other
noted.
this man.
You guys, if you guys are free, you might have to come to Austin on the 11th of April,
okay.
Okay,
or even the
we
12th.
can make that work.
12th, yeah, or even the 12th. Uh, I
Oh,
think
I should
the
be out
person I
there.
would love to sit down and have a cigar with would be Barack Obama.
Oh,
Oh,
that would
that's a
be,
good one.
that's a good one.
I can just see him now. So, what are you smoking, Ali? My brother is medium to full. I think it would be fun. Uh, but
Oh,
I actually, believe it or not, would love to have a drink of whiskey with George W. Bush Jr.
oh yeah, that would be definitely interesting, especially his party days. You get that
Yeah,
guy coming
I
out.
was gonna say that. I was like, you're gonna get that real Texan coming out, so that
Hmm.
would definitely be interesting for sure.
And what is your best place to smoke?
Mm. Anywhere he's at,
No,
as long as I'm with him, I'm good.
that's a good answer.
Pretty
Good
much.
answer. I don't,
I mean, as long as we're together, yeah.
I don't necessarily know that I have the vibe right. I mean, I can smoke like right now. I can smoke in the backyard with good company
Mhm.
and friends, and it's definitely about the atmosphere, not the place. Sit down and have great conversation. So,
I will say it was really nice when we were on the cruise and we'd have our after dinner smoke out on the deck,
oh yeah,
and that
I've done that.
When
wind.
the beauty of the ocean passing by, that
I did that last year. I went on a cruise around this time, and it was nice to sit down with some friends and we smoked. The only problem was the breeze from the ocean came and it kept blowing the ashes and the smoke everywhere.
yeah.
We
Yeah,
sat down and we had some cigars and we played dominoes.
Oh,
So,
yeah. I mean, that's just a good vibe.
what was the most interesting thing this weekend showed you?
Well, I mean, I said it earlier. I'll say it again. The amount of women just involved in not only the festival organization, but I mean, just being there, and enjoying themselves. I thought that was really cool. Yeah.
yeah. And for me, meeting the owner of the library, he's been in it so long, but he's willing to help out people who are up and coming and who want to do things that they can't normally do, to get there. And he wants to help out as much as he can. And I learned that not every lounge, not a lot of the old lounges that have been around, but a lot of the newer lounges, they actually support the heck out of each other,
Yeah.
and I love that. And so, just somebody who wants to come up in it, I now have somebody I can go to and do something that I've been wanting to do, and he can show me the way or point out the right direction they need to go in.
That is awesome. We're getting close to our time, but if you guys enjoyed this show, definitely like, subscribe, share. Check out Patrick on Smoke and Mirrors. Check out Victoria on Stogie Sesh. And you got the V Cut coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look out for us. We're a collaborative family. Look out for Lifestyle After 5. This is what we do. So tonight, what we do, we bring conversation and we bring community and good cigars together. That's what
Oh
Lifestyle
yeah.
Oh
After
yeah.
5 is all about. This is Smoke Signals. Stay tuned to next Monday around 7:30. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.